Welcome to Rolling Across the Pond. Tea break time. I am your GM Jesse, who is not sick anymore. That was like forever ago. Um, and I am here with the rest of the crew. There's Sam, there's Davita, there's Lee, and our wonderful, wonderful guest, not guest, Luke. And the cast actually don't know what I'm about to do right now, but I wanted to genuinely encourage and say a thank you to all of them, mainly because, for one thing, I wanted to introduce you all to Luke, our guest. He is a wonderful guy. He's just been such a huge blessing, such a huge, cheerful voice. The awkwardness of it all just makes us laugh, makes us relate to him. But in general, he's a great, genuine guy, and I really appreciate him, and I'm glad he's on this podcast. And I wanted to say that he is a genuine member of this podcast, and he is no longer a guest. That was a long time ago. And I just wanted to say thank you for joining the podcast, and I really appreciate you. And I'm going to go across the map because I actually can't see him on the screen. And I want to say thank you to Lee. You have definitely been an inspiration throughout all this. Your podcast, your YouTube channel, and all of that in itself was a great encouragement, and your willingness and your want to add all the sound effects and everything has just been a genuine help, blessing, and weight off my shoulders. So I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate you, Lee. And I'm going to keep shooting this quickly because I know everybody hates compliments and awkwardness. Again, Lee, you and Luke, love you guys. You guys are huge to me, and I really appreciate you being a part of this podcast, and thank you. And I'm going to go to Davita, and I'm going to say thank you for joining this crazy bunch of men, and for your first time doing role playing. I don't know if it's in general, but for a podcast as well as for the Dungeons and Dragons, I know it was your first time, and I really appreciate you just jumping in and taking the punches and learning on the go. And it wasn't easy, I'm sure, at the beginning, but you really picked it up, and I really appreciate you just taking this time. And you are a busy woman, and you have a lot of different jobs and activities you do, and I really appreciate you taking the time for this. And you're just an amazing woman, so thank you for being a part of this. And Sam, our wonderful tabaxi rogue, but I think in real life as well, you have that sneaky joy. You love giving people. You don't like taking things, really. I would say you like giving more. That's just from my perspective. But I really appreciate you. I remember coming to you with this idea, and I just wanted, and you were like, "Yeah, let's do it." I'm all on board, and I really appreciate it because without that, I would not have even taken the leap or the step. So I really appreciate you, and I thank you that you took that leap with me, and that we've done a great thing here. I've had a fun time. I've loved every minute of it, and I just really appreciate you, and you're just awesome. And you make us laugh, you make us find awkward moments even more awkward than probably Luke sometimes. Hey, thank you all for being a part of this podcast, and I just thought I'd take the moment to do that because I feel thankful, and I appreciate you all.
Yes,
it's a pleasure, Jeff. We are we want to thank you so much for putting the time in on planning all this stuff, because that is a lot of work, and you put a lot of effort and heart into it. And so we really want to thank you as well, and appreciate your effort in making this happen. And thanks.
Yeah, no problem. And I wasn't fishing for any compliments.
No, I know you weren't. I wanted to.
I just love how he has to put up with us as only people are on episode 8, obviously listen to this tea break. You don't know some of the stuff we say to him might break him as an individual, but he puts on a smile. That's all that I'm saying.
I love it. I love
Get some good banner. The best thing is Davita's getting involved now, which is so good. It makes me laugh even.
Wait for Luke. Luke and I have had conversations recently, and he's just like, do I go darker? Do I join the dark side? And I'm like, do it.
I thought you didn't allow the dark side.
Hey, how your personality is, as long as you do good in the podcast, I don't mind. But if you come at me at the dark side, hey, that's fine. I can take it.
Yeah, we just like break podcast. Go, Jess, you're a horrible person. I'm leaving right now. Done. And everyone's like, is that acting or real? We don't know. Like, is he in character? What's going on?
Yeah. No, it's good. I just felt like I needed to say that, and I genuinely mean everything I said. And yeah, cool. So let's carry on and talk about episode 8. And I know most of you are gonna hate me that are listening out there because I always say I'm not gonna cut it in half at a fight. But this episode was originally like 3 hours and 45 minutes, and a lot of it was a
lot of thinking, a lot of thought went into it. We had to plan stuff out.
or like, okay, I want to rescue that person, or I want to rescue that animal, and then do this and this and this. No, you can't do that.
Yeah, we so wanted to multitask.
Okay, and then I had to remove those things because we didn't end up doing them, and it was just pointless to the story. So yeah, that's it. It just happened to be like this, and so this is. And in the end, I also feel like this is a good ending for kind of like I said in the description. This is the end of an arc. Like, this is the end of arc 1 of us kind of getting the hang of things, to kind of really get into the grit and the grime of it all. And so after episode 9, it gets very different from my perspective, in a good way or bad way, who knows. And I don't actually mention that this is arc 1 in the actual podcast actual play time, but yeah, I feel like it is an arc in itself, and that we are moving forward in a different way, but in a, okay, we're older, we're wiser, let's make more bad decisions.
As you're looking back, you're seeing the characters like change a little bit, and seeing that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So first, kind of few questions. Do you all? Okay, this is to everybody. Does everybody think I wasted that smoke bomb?
Yes.
No.
I mean, just because it was thrown out of initiative, and then during initiative it kind of just dissipated, and it didn't really do anything for Leaf anyways, as he did get shot by that bolt.
Yeah, but that was an ungodly roll like that. I think if everyone's listening to that episode, like, I think Sam makes a joke towards the end going like, how many D20s are being rolled over there, Jess? How many 20s you getting? Because you were rolling pretty high that episode.
I was. Either
it was ridiculous.
I did either roll natural 20s or natural 1s. I did so many. Okay, Luke has a list. How many do you know?
And I'm not sure because I walked around while doing it. There was 6 nat 20s.
Whoa.
Yeah, and like 3 nat 1s.
Wow.
So,
okay.
It was crazy. I'm not using the same dice anymore.
well,
It's been banished until like some heavenly demon comes out and goes like, I'm going to bring out that dice because it should end the world for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, this is the thing that came out of that hole that you guys have run away from. You know,
maybe.
Hopefully that's when the nat 1s come up more than the nat 20s.
No, but seriously, the fact that she got a natural 20, I was just like, well, she's got to go for the person who was doing the most sneaking.
So funny when you're like, she's a woman. Like, originally my original edit, I had a Skeletor going.
Oh no way!
Like, I literally had Skeletor going like, it's a woman. What? Like, literally, and I was like, that'd be so out of place. No one would have reference. Only like a few of us, because I have literally so many sound bites of Skeletor. Like, it's just so brilliant. Like,
in general, that was a funny part where it's just like, it's you yourself, Lee, was just like, I think you were like, oh, this is gonna be easy. I could just destroy everybody, so I'm gonna throw this bomb in there. I'm gonna kill, and then she's a woman, and there's hostages.
Hey, you did that with the sloth too. The sloth is all oh, it's a woman.
Yeah, friggin' ninja sloth, which I thought was one of the coolest moments in there. The time sloth that basically jumps around He's super slow, but he's doing
Blinky.
stuff super, super fast. It's
Yeah,
so
right.
funny. So good.
Definitely Blinky.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, I think but that smoke bomb, I was just like, really, in the end, it did help, I guess, get Ava in, or Davida, your character in. But you wanted to do it so flashy. I was thinking, why did she throw the smoke bomb?
She didn't want to show off too much. That's what I
Sure.
think.
Sure. I guess the next question I have is how many so this is to Sam, you specifically. Like, how many times were you like, but this is what the rules say, or like not even like, but they should be rolling with disadvantage, and I'm just like, no. How did you? Were you just like, okay, he's a DM, or were you just like, okay, there has to be a reason behind this, like?
No, it was basically Jesse's in God mode. So
To be fair, I was super sick. Like, I wasn't COVID sick, but I was super delirious most of the time.
all
So
good.
I was just like, yeah, this is how it's gonna play out. And
This is where I'm thinking some of those 20s were actually 10s, but because your vision was blurred, you're like, hey, I got another 20.
no,
Oh, no,
if you
it was a
remember
two,
me,
Lee.
I
It was
did
a
roll
two.
so many 10s.
It's true. I like the edit doesn't do it justice because obviously you said it was 3 hours and 45 minutes. I remember how many times we rolled dice just for these upcoming episodes.
Oh yeah.
There's literally long pauses of 2 minutes while we all sat there going like, how many dice is he just rolled? He's rolled like 27 dice right now. What's going on? Like, this is bad.
That's just for one person.
It's just one guy. Just one guy, the
The-
female.
The amount of like conversations that were happening, like I was just like, okay, why did we talk about this? What influence did they have on this? And so I just removed them. And then the one thing that really was confusing at one point is because listeners, to peek behind the curtain, we use Zoom to do most of our recording. Sometimes I do a little bit of other things to help out, but we mainly use Zoom, and it doesn't always keep audio equal. So if somebody drops out or if somebody has internet issues, it slows their audio. So if I use individual audio slots, which is what I do, somebody could say something that's relevant to the situation that actually happens an hour later, and I got so confused. So if you are like, okay, wait a second, that doesn't make sense, or like somebody didn't say something but they responded to it, that's basically what happened. And I left it in there because it still made sense. It still sounded relevant, and then some of the stuff needed to be in there. But yeah, that's basically another reason why I was just like, oh, this is a long episode, and a lot of it is I'm trying to connect. So yeah, I hope you still enjoyed it. I did. Yeah, it was a bit of chaos, if I do say so myself. Yeah. What? So from that, how? Vita, that was your first huge battle. What was it hard to keep track? Did you kind of lose interest? Did it kind of just go over your head, and you just focus on your turns, or were you like trying to stay engaged so you can, for one thing, banter, but also
Right. I was feeling like I was trying to get information a lot. I feel like more than anybody else. Like you were, I feel like, more focused on the battle, Jess, and so you weren't answering. Well, either that or you just didn't want to give us any information. But then later on, you mentioned how you had this source of information. So I felt like I was asking, like, who are you looking for? Like trying to get info while we're battling, but like you're focused on the battle portion, and I'm trying to focus on a little bit more of the role playing section where I'm trying to get some info while we're battling. And I just didn't like. I felt a little confusing because I wasn't sure. Like, yeah. So
no, yeah, that's totally fair. I think so. I agree. You guys, other than Davita, the rest of you did not care about information.
I asked as well.
The reason I didn't tell you at that point is because she's a rogue. She's sneaky. She's not going to give you information unless you kind of pull it out of her.
There was a whole banter between Leaf, Hover, and the alligator.
That's true.
That Yeah, that we were trying to find out who was paying her, how much
Yes.
she was being paid. And, like, because we were going to offer her more, well, I was going to offer her more money and didn't get that opportunity because she was like, nope, you're talking.
It was really funny because it was good role playing on both your guys' part. Like you're starting a fight, and then like halfway through, you're just like, yeah, why are you trying to kill us? Actually, that's a good question. Why are you trying to hurt us? Like you would do that. It's like a very, dare I bring up the show that I don't enjoy, Firefly moment. Like when they're like doing some sort of heist or whatever, and then they go, oh yeah,
everybody here is just like, wait a second, what did he just say?
Yes, I'm not.
Did you just say you don't like Firefly?
I'm enemy number one on this tea break. Didn't enjoy Loki. I do not like Firefly. I don't like Doctor Who. Lee, just
what
go
about
die in a forest
what
fire.
about? Have you watched the Have you watched? Oh my goodness, I can't even remember the name. Star Wars: The Bad Batch.
I haven't watched any Bad Batch yet.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm a terrible person. I know I'm a terrible person.
I need to catch up on the last episode, but there was last one or two episodes. So I'm staying pretty on top of it.
No, I'm not gonna talk about it. Lee,
I've not started yet either, so
I'm not really that like fussed by it. Like I'm a terrible person. Like I'm just public enemy number one right now, so I'm just gonna sit here quietly and just be like,
I'm saving Bad Batch for when I finish Korra.
While lay it into these guys, you guys who are listening, just enjoy this ad, and you come back after that, hopefully, and I'll be done with them. Right. Welcome back, everyone. After we had that conversation, we literally, you know how with some podcasts, they literally just say, okay, come back after these ads. And then they say, oh, welcome back. Yeah, we didn't do that. We actually had a conversation. And I think we've all agreed to not talk about Star Wars ever again.
I think we can. We just can't bring up
not the TV shows. Or the films. We're talking about other things about Star Wars.
Wait a minute. So you're just saying like don't talk about Star Wars?
So good.
Like, we're just going to talk about books.
Yeah, they comic book.
I'm just lost as to what's going on.
It came out with these prequel books that are like they happen like 200 years before the prequels of the prequel series. So the only Jedi that's around is Yoda. But
yeah, he would have thought it. The oldest.
You know what the funniest thing is? When you said it was done 200 years ago, I actually thought they wrote it 200 years ago. I was like, man,
that's what it feels like.
A long time.
Yeah, George Lucas is literally 200 years old. That's how he rolls.
We're 900 years old. You reach.
Anyways, back to the episode. Yeah, so basically this episode was just a mess. Let's try and get into this building and kill everyone. And one of the animals that failed at doing that a lot, they're very sneakily, is probably Goro. So Lee, like I said before, your plans were kind of going out the window as time went on.
Yeah, I wanted to reenact Godzilla and do Dragon Breath, so I'm going to spoil it for you guys. That doesn't happen because as soon as Jess said hostages, I was like, I think Goro would definitely not like down some moonshine and then spit fire everywhere, unfortunately. So that won't happen. So I was a bit sad about that. But yeah, when it was like there's hostages, I was like, oh, we're going to have to use my abilities of not being subtle. And yeah, it works so well, doesn't it? Although, to be honest, I thought it was brilliant that Luke ended up being a giant like coat rack. I thought that was hilarious. That was genius.
That was very funny.
Like, legitimately hilarious. Like one of the funniest things ever. Just so funny.
And if you didn't notice in the this is part of the episode, right, where you throw him out the window.
Yes.
Yeah. But you didn't notice that Kyle did not notice Reader the whole time.
No.
He didn't. He just saw Goro and was taken out the window. He never mentioned anything about a moose or anything. He was still hidden that well that he didn't even notice at all.
That was the plan. But yeah, like we don't bring it up on the episode, but there is a hilarious debate on our last tea break of what is glass in this whole universe. But yeah, it was fun to finally cave someone's head in. And that's hilarious, how that might actually pan out like in the next episode. But if I remember correctly, it kind of is pretty funny. I'm not going to lie. So, yeah. No, it was fun. It was good fun. And also, I've got to remember, like, we just left PJ outside. So I was like, oh, I've got to get him involved because, you know, everyone's lovable, stupid Otter now is he has to do something. And, he didn't do something eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's forever doomed. Sorry, Keith. Sorry, bro. Jess has ruined that character, and we'll keep on apologizing.
Hey, Keith can always come back. If any of you ever leave and you want to come back, just hit me up, and I'll throw you back in.
Keith, come back, because PJ is just becoming like an absolute abomination of what he wants to be, thanks to Jess. Just saying this all. Jess said all these really nice things about us at the beginning of the episode, but PJ is just not the same without you, buddy. It's not the same.
But it makes for a great story arc, so I'm using him to 100%.
that. He's seen some stuff, and he's no longer the same person. On the other hand, Hava just murders everyone now. It's just great, just an absolute great. Everyone's just evolving to completely different aspects of themselves, which is.
You're really quiet. Are you farther from your microphone right now, or is it just me not? My earphones are not here.
You did kind of start going quieter, but I wasn't going to say anything because I figured you were just going to bounce back.
Okay, sorry.
There you go.
I'm just going to be here.
We can't see him, listeners. He's not only not have his camera on, but if he had his camera on, it would be pitch black anyways.
It's true. I've got my window open. We're dying here in England right now, and it's around evening time, so moths and other things love to come in and ruin life, and I don't want to spend, time sorting out all that problems after we're having some fun sessions of this lovely cast, shall we say? So.
Yeah, I spent my day yesterday putting up fly netting over the windows to try and solve that, but
that's so smart.
A few still get through.
Still get through. They're smart, mate.
Still, that's really good.
I'm looking forward to when we get like a flamethrower to get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's been like 80s, 90s. For the last couple of weeks too. So.
Oh, that's just happened to us.
So I don't know what it is. Yeah, I'm sorry.
We're melting here. The humidity is killing us more than anything.
And then there's the Canadian who's sitting back in the
leisurely
weather,
chilling. He's got a fan in the background. He had an old Henry bar he was eating a second ago.
The fan is not on. That's the thing.
I'm trying to do mental math right now. Just be like, yes. I 100% know which temperature you're talking about, and I'm not Celsius.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. I do not know how to do the calculations.
Dying.
I do know how to do the mental math. I'm just trying to.
Really? I just ask Google or Alexa.
Alexa, figure this problem out for me.
Hey Google, what's the temperature in California? Hey Google, what's the temperature in California in Celsius? Hey Google, listen to me.
What is it in Fahrenheit?
Hey Google, what's the temperature in Celsius in California? 29 degrees Celsius.
Jesus, so yeah, that is pretty much the same as us today. Oh, great. We're like California right now, dying. This is great.
Yeah,
should open a hotel.
Should. For those, it's so warm.
Oh, I just got another fan.
Oh my gosh, look at all these fans.
She was going to bring a person.
I thought she meant I've got more fans. But
jeez, look at this. Like, there's just two of them casually sitting in the back. They look like really bad droids from Star Wars, to be honest. Let's be honest.
Lee, we're not allowed to talk about Star Wars, remember?
Yeah,
I know,
remember?
But I can bring up a droid joke.
No, that's true. You can. So that's what I mean. We don't talk about them in the big picture. We talk increment.
Exactly.
Jesse's making up his own rules again.
Yeah.
I will mute you. I can mute everybody here.
He can.
And I can send you to the timeout breakout room.
I love it. You're having a timeout for like hating everything, like Star Wars, Loki, Firefly, everything, Lee. You're a terrible person.
Doctor Who. Oh. I thought you were a Brit. You have to like Doctor Who.
No, you don't. It's not science fiction. Like this is. I've had this conversation with Sam, I think, multiple times. Like, I appreciate what Doctor Who has done, but that's not my kind of sci-fi. Sorry. Like, shows that I appreciate that. Sci-fi, like true sci-fi, I would say, is probably The Expanse. Is probably my favorite at the moment. Like, that's
I've never seen Expanse.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, the Expanse. Oh my gosh, those books are like encyclopedias themselves. So, yeah, it's really good storytelling, guys. I'm just gonna jump on it. But
All
yeah.
right.
Anyway, back to D&D.
Yes.
I keep sorry.
Back to the episode. Well, it's kind of like coming to let's do favorites times, but I do want to talk about one situation, which is what caused you to jump on the marbles, Davida. But basically, the sloth, you never learn his name. You never learned anybody's name except for Kyle because he told you.
Blinky.
But the sloth
Blinky.
stole your sword, and you definitely, I feel like that was the turning point of, okay, I'm on the side of I'm gonna make Jesse have a hard time.
Yeah.
It's fine, but what were you like? This is impossible. You're just being a jerk. What was going on?
I don't remember. I didn't listen to that part of the podcast, but I remember I was just like, I remember you were like, I felt like you were trying to like take this intentionally, the sword, and I was like, okay, well, like I gotta.
Yeah, it was pretty much like that. Like, you took a sword. Well, I'm just going to get a hand grenade then. Screw you. Like, that's basically what it was.
Yeah. Pretty much. I was like, well, what are my other powerful weapons that I have?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But I whenever I pull a marble, I'm so indecisive about how to use it because I don't know if it's like gonna help or harm or whatever. No idea.
And listeners will figure out what happens next week.
Yeah.
Or not next week. So so next week. So after this is released next week, not as in next week, as in recording this a week before. So yeah, in 2 weeks time for us and 1 week time for them.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we can just move on to favorite moments, least favorite moments. Who wants to go first? Go with Luke. Luke doesn't say very much.
I hope Lee's laugh stays in there and gets to the final product.
I probably woke up my neighbors with that. Probably,
You just need to just make it louder. So that's the only thing you can hear. My struggle is I can't think of the bad parts because this is a flawless podcast and a flawless story. It's
I'll take it.
impossible.
Fine.
As for favorite moment, I also want to say it was intentional. I did see the first episode, so pulling up the scroll was entirely for the purpose of saying, "Who wants to know how to tie knots?"
That was fantastic. I didn't. Yeah, that's true. I forgot to bring that up because I didn't remember where that was. So yes, I was definitely going to bring it up next episode if I didn't bring it up this time. And then the fact. Oh wait, never mind. Yeah, I'm bringing it up next episode. So that's cool. Yeah, it's a very funny moment.
Well, and then the way that Hava goes into it too is just like, and I want your soul.
Yes.
Like, because Nathan's just like, oh, I want your gold, and I was like, and I want your soul.
Yes, and then into a rage. It was fantastic. You guys yeah.
It's very character central, where like Hava's like, I'm going to a rage because I'm gonna murder this person for like no reason, and then Readers is like, he's so pure, so innocent, and so like passive that like the worst thing in the world for him is an unnecessary book. It was like, this is the worst thing ever.
Yes, yeah. Sam?
Favorite part for me, probably calling Blinky.
Yeah, again, you did really well with the banter between NPCs and you. It just felt so fluid with the amount of information you did not know.
Like, especially as they're meant to be back for my backstory, and I was like, I meant to know these guys. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it was very good. And then even you did a very good job in general, even with the crocodile. Or she was. I see you. Really? See you? And then you were like, "Do I?" Like, I guess.
Well, in my mind, there was all this smoke everywhere, so I was like, "How is anyone seeing anything?" But yeah.
But you said it was
Yeah.
dissipating, so that's why.
Like slowly, you know.
Well, slowly, it takes one turn, which I did
One round.
realize it is 6 seconds. It is 6 seconds in general. So like, it's everybody doing something in the same 6 seconds.
Okay.
Because if you do something, so sorry, listeners, this is something we had a conversation about. I'm not sure if I kept it in the episode or not. Basically, is 6 seconds per person, or is it 6 seconds at the exact same time? And it's that. So if you have something that lasts a minute, that's 10 rounds.
Okay. That's
And that
crazy.
means 10 rounds as in everybody goes through it. So 6 seconds at the exact same time. Yeah.
Wait.
So
what? Like,
let's say
one person takes their turn each time, and it's like,
it's
6 seconds.
One person takes a turn. So let's say Sam takes a turn, then Davida, then you, and then Lee. All of that happens in 6 seconds. But you use that 6 seconds in a different way to the next person next to you. That's why if you like all of a sudden you're like, okay, hold on, guys, we need to plan this. It doesn't make sense because you're in 6 seconds mode. You can't just stop your 6 seconds to create a plan when you're in the middle of a combat. Like it doesn't make sense in that context. But if everybody individually had 6 seconds, 6 seconds, 6 seconds, that would make more sense. But yeah, that's something I learned.
So even
I'm learning.
A 1v1, wouldn't it still be 20 rounds to do a minute thing?
No, it would be 10 rounds.
Or rounds, sorry, like turns though.
It would be
20 turns.
10 rounds. So 20 turns. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was my confusion.
No.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. It would be easier if we had a magic user, but because we don't have those. This last minute, that last 10 minutes, something like that. It's all just combat fighting, which is what this world's all about, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Great, Davida.
Okay, what was it with the steps? I'm trying to remember. I remember there was like...
Oh, when the bear tried to lift it, and then you lift, and then you lift it, and the bear gets
That
upset,
happened in this episode.
and the sloth is on top of the desk.
That was in this episode, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. I thought that was pretty awesome, though, how we could like pick up this thing with a bear can't.
Yeah, it was so funny.
It was.
The whole situation.
It was so funny as well, finding like bear sound effects. There literally was like a, and I was like, that's being used right there for that bit. Because Jess's sound effects, I was like, replace that with an animal that sounds like this. Okay, that's great. And then when he went, I was like, that perfect. That's going in there. It was so good. Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
It was very funny. And then how you were like, I want to do this cool move, and I was like, yeah.
Aww.
And then you were like, yeah, I did it. And then I was like, no, you only did half. And you like the amount of sadness I heard in your voice was like, oh, well, that's ruined now. Great. I really wish I could have done it. And I was like, yeah, it happens. Like, no kid not caring at all. I was totally like, you missed. It's okay. And you were like, what about the sloth? And I was like, yeah, it's fine. Like, just didn't care. You felt. I felt not. I genuinely don't know how I felt at the time, but listening to it, I don't think I cared too much. You didn't get to do your cool move. Yeah, it's true. That's funny. And Lee, what about you?
I don't know. I think everyone's took all the best moments. I personally think. I think the best thing about this episode, I personally think, which is my probable takeaway of editing, was like everyone had unique, awesome moments. Like Sam had the banter and also the hilariousness of saying, how did you just pull that shot off when I shouldn't have been able to, been seen and whatever. Luke being Luke, like seriously, like coat rack, getting angry over knots. Enough said. Davita's character is definitely one of my favorite characters now, of just like, she's so cute and innocent until someone says, I'm going to murder you. And then she immediately turns into like Hannibal Lecter or something. She's just a psychopath. Like you're literally just like, I just want to go to an inn with them, and someone says, "Oh, I don't like your like I don't know, your shoes or something." I would love to just be like, guys, let's just leave right now. But she's going to murder everyone or whatever. But no, everyone had their moments in this episode, which I think was really cool because I know a few episodes, everyone has very similar likes, but I think everyone got to shine a little bit in this episode.
Yeah, definitely. I think individually on your own, you are able to depict those moments. Like you think, okay, how can I make this an awesome moment? And I appreciate that as the GM, that I don't have to create all of those moments. And so all these moments you're talking about, you yourselves created, and I just went and I bounced off of what you did. So yeah, hats off to all of you, including you, Lee, with I want to ram him through the window and bash his head in.
Yep, head first, man. And that was just because I watched Casino the night before, where the guy was being a jerk in the casino. And Robert De Niro goes like, "Yeah, escort him head first," and they use his head to throw him out. And I was like, that needs to happen at some point, and I got the opportunity to.
Great. So that's tea break. But don't turn off your brains just yet. We have a special announcement from our wonderful Lee.
Okay, so if you enjoy rolling across the pond and you love a little bit of banter, well, there's another podcast that's coming out in junction with this, and it's called Tales from the Loop. It's a really cool, exciting RPG that basically puts you guys right in the how can I put it, in an 80s movie, should we say, but an alternative 80s skyline, or should we say storyline more than anything. But I'm gonna be a bit of a cop out here and say I'm gonna let my trailer do the speaking for you. Imagine you're a kid growing up in the 80s. The world is your oyster. All you want to do is listen to music, watch television, chase girls, play video games, and hang out with your friends. But there is a twist when it comes to Tales from the Loop. You've grown up in a version of the 80s with advanced technology. In this world, 2 particle accelerators have been found underneath the world's surface. One in the west of Stockholm in Sweden, and one in Boulder City in Nevada, USA. Technology has started to advance so much we have seen advancements in robotics, artificial intelligence, and even vehicle technology. But something must have happened recently. Strange things have been happening. People have started disappearing. Rumors of robots walking around and acting out of their programming. People not acting themselves. Incidents involving trucks and cars going missing. And even possible dinosaur sightings. Little did people know, this was only the beginning. Hello, my name is Lee, and I'm the producer of Bleeped Up Productions, and Tales from the Loop is a live role-playing podcast, which will be following a group of kids growing up in that universe. This group of friends will go on adventures, make new friends, grow in their personal relationships with each other, and even battling things that you might have read from a comic book or seen on a television program. And the first episode is actually live right now, probably in the link description of this, or Jess has actually posted it through all the social medias of Rolling Across the Pond. And it's actually going to be starring Jesse, Sam, Davita, and Luke. And the funniest thing about it is Jess is actually going to be playing and I am GMing, so it's going to be a complete role reversal for him and a ton of fun. So if you like anything like The Goonies, X-Files, any 80s kind of movies like Lost Boys, Breakfast Club, you name it, basically this podcast is very similar to like Stranger Things as well. So it's a fantastic RPG done by Free League, and we're going to be bringing these out on the regular. So when new ones come out, you're probably going to hear some cool advert like this on a Rolling Across the Pond or Tea Break kind of episode. So without further ado, let's get straight back to the Tea Break, or the Rolling Across the Pond podcast. So yeah.
Cool. Fantastic. Great. Cool. Thank you guys for listening, and Davita, you want to take us out?
Yeah, sure. Hey, thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate your support, and if you guys enjoy listening to this, share it with friends, and send us messages on our Instagram at Rolling Across the Pond, or on our website, rollingacrossthepond.com. And check out if you guys are wanting to help us out a little bit more, you can support us through Patreon, Rolling Across the Pond as well, and send us your fan art. And we would like to see how you guys visualize this all out, and send us questions we can answer in a tea time, hopefully, if you have any questions. Like he really wants me to mention fan art because he loves the fan art. I love the fan art. I do fan art myself. If I had more time, I would do more. But yeah, so I would we'd love to see that if you guys have any of that. And he's holding up another version of fan art that he's done. So cool. But yeah, so anyway, we want to see all that, and thanks for listening. Share with friends. We'll see you next time.